All right, hey everyone, it's December the 16th, the year 2016, and Jason mentioned that he's in prison with a guy by the name of Glenn Unger, and I tried to look him up and I found this and I thought it was worth documenting, so this will probably be my last video for the night unless anything comes up unexpected. But these sovereign citizen guys, man, they're interesting to study. Um, Glenn Unger, this is Wikipedia, and I don't like Wikipedia, but they are good for just learning until you realize that, they're full of biasness. But anyway, Glenn Richard Unger, also known as Dr. Sam Kennedy, born July 27, 1951, is a former child star and convicted tax defrauder associated with the anti-government redemption movement. As a child, Unger appeared as Winthrop Perot in The Music Man on Broadway and starred alongside his sister Ronnie in a Broadway tribute to Fred Astaire, for which he was complimented by Astaire for his performance. He later became an orthodontist. According to the Christian Science Monitor, A. Unger became a key figure in the redemption movement, using the name Sam Kennedy. He hosted a program titled Take No Prisoners on Republic Broadcasting Network in Round Rock, Texas. In a mass email early in 2010, Unger vowed to use his show to present a final remedy to the enslavement at the hands of corporations posing as legitimate government. He pointed to a plan to end economic warfare and political terror by March 31st, 2010. In 2 months, he said, "We can and will be free with your assistance." In 2013, Unger was tried in the United States District Court for the Northern District of New York in Albany, New York, on one count of attempting to interfere with the administration of the U.S. Internal Revenue laws, 4 counts of filing false claims for over $36 million in tax refunds, 1 count of tax evasion, and 1 count of uttering a fictitious obligation. Unger was convicted of multiple counts of tax fraud, and on April the 22nd, 2014, he was sentenced to 97 months in prison for those convictions. Unger is inmate number 20191-052 at the Federal Correctional Institute at Allenwood, Pennsylvania, and is scheduled for release on February the 6th, 2020. Well, that is the same prison as Jason Gerhard. What's this redemption movement all about? The redemption movement consists of supporters of an American conspiracy theory called the redemption theory, which involves claims that when the U.S. government abandoned the gold standard in 1933, it pledged its citizens as collateral so that it could borrow money. Other similar theories claimed this collateral action happened in 1913 with the establishment of the Federal Reserve System. The movement also asserts that common citizens can gain access to funds in secret accounts using obscure procedures and regulations. The redemption movement is related to the sovereign citizen movement. According to the theory, the government created a fictitious person or straw man corresponding to each newborn citizen with bank accounts initially holding $630,000. The theory that further holds that through obscure procedures under the Uniform Commercial Code, a citizen can reclaim the straw man and write checks against its accounts. There have been many well-publicized convictions of citizens attempting to take advantage of this theory. The Federal Bureau of Investigations regards the instructors and promoters of redemption schemes as fraudsters, while the Internal Revenue Service has included the strawman claim in its list of frivolous positions that may result in the imposition of a $5,000 penalty when used as the basis for an inaccurate tax return. They've got promoters Roger Elvick and Sam Kennedy, which is also Glenn Unger and Barton Boots. Wow, wow, wow. Well, let's just read this while we're on the topic. I mean, what else I got to do, right? The redemption theory. The redemption movement is based on a theory developed in 1980s by Roger Elvick, who has been called a founding father of the modern redemption movement. This theory is in part that for every citizen's birth certificate used in the U.S. since the 1936 Social Security Act, the government deposits $630,000 in a hidden bank account linked to the newborn American and administered by a Jewish cabal. Redemptionists assert that by completing certain legal maneuvers and filing a series of government forms, the actual person may entitle himself or herself to the 630,000 held in the name of the doppelganger persona created for him or her at birth, and may then access these government funds using sight drafts. The government views these sight drafts as rubber checks and the entire scheme as fraudulent. The federal government has convicted the practitioners of fraud and conspiracy. Other important documents in this theory are the security agreement, the power of attorney, copyright notice, hold harmless agreement, Form UCC3, notice of security agreement, birth certificate bond, Form 56, notice concerning fiduciary relationship, Form W8-BIN, serving notice to the U.S. Secretary of Treasury of the correct status of the issuer of the bond and countering any presumption that the issuer might be considered to be a fictional entity, Declaration of Status, Form 1040B, Form 1099-OID, Notice of International Commercial Claim and Admiralty Administrative Remedy. It is held, however, that the UCC-1 merely creates rebuttal presumption, which can be overcome if a man or woman is receiving some sort of benefit from the state or as a slave. It is held to be important not to sign documents such as W-4 forms, or if one is to sign them, to also write under duress. One element of the theory states that the Americans are U.S. nationals, not U.S. citizens, and can therefore avoid taxes by changing their filing status from U.S. citizen to non-resident alien. This argument has been repeatedly rejected by federal courts. Classes are often set up to teach the intricacies of the theory, and books have been published about it in the underground press. Canaanite law is held to be an important source of law, and The Wizard of Oz, presumably because of the Scarecrow character, i.e. the straw man, the Matrix trilogy, are held to have important symbolism in reference to this theory, and there is also said to be some connection to the New World Order. Legal status. Several people who have followed Rick Elvick's instructions have been convicted. The Internal Revenue Service has included the strawman claim in its list of frivolous positions that may result in the imposition of a $5,000 penalty when used as a basis for an inaccurate tax return. Likewise, the Federal Bureau of Investigations regards the instructors and promoters of the redemption schemes as fraudsters. A 2011 NPR report claims some of the people associated with this movement were imprisoned in a highly restrictive communications management unit. There's that word again. Wow. Wow. Promoters, Roger Elvick. I guess in June 1991, Roger Elvick was found guilty by a federal jury of Hawaii of conspiracy to impede justice in connection with the federal tax filings under 18 U.S.C. 371. On September 30th, 1991, he was fined $100,000 and was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison and 3 years of supervised release. Elvick was the national spokesman for the white supremacist group Committee of the States and president of the Common Title, a farm loan scam. I wonder if he really was a white supremacist or if that's just Wikipedia. He served his time and was released from the federal prison system on December the 8th, 1997. While incarcerated, he was further convicted in another conspiracy. That often happens to these guys. They get thrown in prison, they're supposed to let out, and they get 20 more years. Upon release from prison, he restarted the scheme in Ohio, where he was convicted in April 2005 of forgery, extortion, and corruption. I wonder if he's in prison today. Sam Kennedy, Glenn Unger. He's the guy with Jason Gerhardt. According to the Christian Science Monitor, a key figure is Sam Kennedy, whose real name is Glenn Richard Unger, host of the Take No Prisoners program on the Republic Broadcasting Network in Round Rock, Texas. In a mass email early in 2010, Unger vowed to use his show to present a final remedy. I think we've read all that before. Barton Boots. Redemption movement proponent Barton Boots has written that when a UCC form is processed by state UCC's filing office, it becomes a public legal record / fact, and that those who have filed UCC-1 financing statements correctly have not broken the law. In October 2007, Boots was found guilty of conspiracy to pass approximately $3.8 million in false U.S. Treasury instruments. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison and was released on November 27, 2012. Tax protesters, capital letters, paper terrorism, Freeman on the land. Freeman on the land. Guardians of the Free Republic. My. This stuff gets deep, don't it? I just can't handle it. It's too much for my little brain right now. Okay, well, we've gone down this rabbit hole as far as I care to go right now, and I'm just going to go to sleep. So, God bless you guys. Take care. Have a great night. Bye bye.